Hello again, Boyd here with you, and welcome back everybody. Well, over the last couple of days I've been working on this really neat little next generation NASCAR kit from JR Models. Shout out to Big Eddie and his YouTube channel. I'm a subscriber over there, and Eddie showed this in his Stash Editions video from a couple of weeks ago, and I knew I had to have one as soon as I saw it. I just love the the NASCAR race car kits, and I've been waiting for a really nice kit to come out of the next gen car because I was really curious about how different they are from the cars that have been around for the last probably 30 years or so in the basic configuration that they were. And this is an awesome kit, you guys. I've heard about JR Models. They've been putting out kits for the last couple of years, mainly revolving around vintage NASCAR, from the 60s and 70s. And some of that stuff is really cool because it's really hard to find, and they make them with all their correct sponsor logos and everything, even the old tobacco and alcohol sponsors and everything. And I've heard that their kits were really high quality. Well, I have to say, pleasantly surprised, you guys. This kit was absolutely fantastic. I'll say straight up that it was the best fitting NASCAR kit that I've ever built, and I built hundreds of them. My favorites used to be the old monogram kits, but the chassis, the roll cage, everything went together in this kit like flawless. The instruction sheet's a little bit hard to understand in a few spots, and they do give you an addendum to the instructions that tells you that some of the parts are mislabeled. They'll probably correct that as the kit moves forward. But yeah, I was really happy putting this together. Now they give you the option of not having to paint this because the body comes molded in the Napa blue, and then you do a white decal wrap that you can put all the two-tone white and blue and yellow coloring on there. I decided to go ahead and paint this because I just was afraid the decals might get kind of wrinkled or whatever. There's a lot of curves and everything that you're going to have to make. But if you do decide to use the decals, it'll actually be really authentic, because most of you guys know that are NASCAR fans, all the modern NASCAR race cars are completely wrapped with vinyl these days. They don't paint them anymore. And these new cars have a composite body that's all one piece that they just drop right down on the chassis and replace the whole thing if it ever gets damaged or whatever. So that's how they do it these days. I'll go ahead and pull the body off the chassis and show you that. You can see here that this is really nice. Again, all the roll cage fit together beautiful. I didn't have any problems at all. Everything fit with the chassis and the suspension parts. You get some really nice, kind of like, they're almost like real rubber and not vinyl type tires for this. The wheels are excellent. The caliper detail on the brakes, all the little chassis parts, the shocks, the struts, the suspension arms and everything is there. It's a little bit hard to see with all the ductwork of the engine and everything put in place, but this is how they look, and this is really cool. You can see the interesting thing about these new cars too is that they have this flat pan with this air dam sort of thing in the back area here. So it's kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious about how they actually work on these cars. They must have everything modular where they can pull all the components out and replace them, as needed. But just really cool, and I'm really glad this finally came out. I've been wanting a nice Chase Elliott model for a while. I'm a big fan. I was originally a big fan of his dad. I was the only Ford fan in our family. Everybody drove Chevrolets, and including my dad, and I liked Mopars and Fords when I was a kid, so I was a big Bill Elliott fan. And this is really cool. So yeah, I highly recommend this. This is an awesome kit, and I'm probably going to pick up the Larson kit maybe a little bit later on too. You can see they have more in the line here. They've got the 24, the 5, and the 48. Also, you can see there's one of their vintage kits, an old Richard Petty Charger. So yeah, these are really nice kits, you guys, and I wish this company a lot of success. I hope they continue producing kits of this quality going forward. I'll definitely be a fan. I'll be buying more of them. One thing I will mention about the decals, before I forget, they do mention in the instructions that they don't recommend using any kind of clear coat. I'll get this spinning for you guys while I'm talking. They caution against using that. Well, I noticed, I used Automotive 2K on this, and I noticed that around a couple of the little edges, I got a tiny little bit of melting. It's barely noticeable, but it did happen. Now, I think you can avoid that by just putting a light mist coat of your decal bonder or lacquer or whatever you want to use, and let that dry, and do that a couple of times so you get a nice kind of a protective layer built up on that. And I think if you do it that way, then you spray your final clear over the top when you put them on the model, I don't think you'll have any problem. I think my first coat was too wet. I didn't know that, I didn't notice the little notification about the decals before I went ahead and did that. So you know, it's not really noticeable, no big deal, but just a heads up for you guys. So yeah, that was really fun to build, and I really enjoyed it. And I'll put this inside next to a couple of my old Bill Elliott models, and it'll look pretty cool. But yeah, highly recommend this kit. I've been working over here a little bit on the Enterprise. I'll be back a little bit more this week with some more updates for you. I've been working on the upper deck works and some of the hangar bay details and stuff. It's starting to come together. I'm still kind of fine-tuning on the deck color here. I think I'm going to go slightly a little bit darker yet, but I'm getting closer. I just, you know, sprayed a test color on here to see how it looked. But yeah, the model fits really good. Everything's coming together really nice. I'll be back with more on that a little bit later. And in an upcoming video I've got coming up here, I've got the start of the C-57 space cruiser build, and we'll be getting into that. I've also got a couple of new kits that came in for the stash here. Our good friend Henry sent us another beautiful kit, and our other good friend Kenny May over at Moonwalker Models sent us some fantastic sci-fi kits that he 3D printed, and I really thank Kenny for that. And we'll be back here in just a second and show you what those look like, guys. Be right back. I'm back with you again, everybody, and up first we have these beautiful 3D printed kits that came in from Kenny May. Thanks so much again, Kenny. I really appreciate this. Some of you guys might recognize what this actually is. This is called the Landmaster. This was in a really cool sci-fi vehicle that was in an original movie called Damnation Alley, and it's just a really, really awesome vehicle. If you guys remember, it had this iconic kind of, you know, triangle tri-wheel setup on each corner, where it had three huge tires that kind of, you know, it's a really ingenious design where it's made to go over all kinds of terrain, and it has a, you know, kind of an amphibious vehicle look to it. It's got a pivoting section. You got these sections that all go together, and you got these really cool wheels and everything that go on it. We're going to paint this all up and do some weathering on it and everything. And Kenny has gotten fantastic at doing 3D printing. These are really nice pieces, and you can see there's a lot of detail here. I'm going to be working on these, both of these kits I'll be showing you here sometime over the summer. So again, thank you so much, Kenny. Can't say how much I appreciate it. This is going to be awesome. I just commented on Kenny's video when he showed his built version of this that I thought it was awesome that there was a kit available of this, and you know, he told me that it had to be 3D printed, and I just said, man, that's awesome. Well, a couple days later he let me know. He said, hey, I'm going to send you one. I said, wow, I can't believe it. But yeah, this is really, really cool. So you'll see a lot more of this coming soon. Let me get this one out of the way a little bit here. And in this bag over here we have, some of you guys might recognize some detail on here, or maybe not. It's kind of hard to see. I don't want to pop everything out of here right now, but this is the laser tank from Space 1999, which is, you know, there were never any, you know, very many models of this ever made, and the detail that is included with this is really cool. There's a lot of parts here. I'm not sure exactly what scale it is, but this is going to be a fun, really build too. Over in a separate little box here, we got all the little tracks that have to be put together on that, and Kenny told me that they're really fragile, and be careful, so we'll be careful working on that. But yeah, this is going to be another really cool build. Not going to do any lighting or anything on either one of these, just going to build them up really nice and with some weathering and everything, and they should look really, really cool on display. So yeah, I'm looking forward to these. Plenty of models to build over the summer, you guys. Then over here, Henry Schmidt, who sent us the beautiful Enterprise kit, he also sent me this 1/350 scale Battleship Texas. And I'm really interested in this because, you know, I live here in Texas, and I've driven past the Texas several times. It's down near Houston in the Galveston area. Now, some of you people may know that they're actually going to move her sometime this summer. It's scheduled to be taken out and put in dry dock. And my mother has a beach house over in the Crystal City area, and apparently you'll be able to see the dry dock from her place. So whenever I go down to visit her and stay at the beach house, we'll probably be able to see the Texas in the background along the Gulf Coast there. So that'll be really, really cool. I've never gotten around to stopping by and touring the you know, the ship as a museum, but she was apparently in need of a lot of repair, and so they're going to dry dock her, and I can't remember, I think it's like $18 million or something like that they're going to spend. They're going to completely, you know, fix up her hull. Much needed repairs are going to be done, and then apparently over the years a lot of her weaponry and deck detail have been removed. So they hired some company, and they're going to reproduce all that stuff. And you know, I don't know if it'll be actually fully functional or whatever, but it'll be, you know, really nice replicas of all the anti-aircraft guns and everything that she originally had. I imagine they're shooting for a certain time during her career that they want her to look like. But yeah, all that'll be back, so she'll have a lot more interesting things to see. So I can't wait to go visit the ship once it's all done and back in place. Now, from what I understand, they're not going to be putting it back where it was in the San Jacinto Park, just outside of Houston. It's going to be somewhere more closer to Galveston, from what I understand. So hopefully it'll all work out. And you know, people that are that follow the ship have been waiting a long time to see this work finally get done. As some of you may know, the famous destroyer, the USS Sullivan's, you know, named for the 5 Sullivan brothers that were lost in World War II, that actually was taking on some water the last couple of weeks and almost completely sank. They've got it refloated now, and they're going to be doing some repairs. So these old World War II museum ships are hard to maintain. I've donated several times to some of the different ones. You know, I don't have a lot of money, but I try to help whenever I can. And I just love to see these things preserved. So if you feel like, you know, donating to one of these groups, maybe the Sullivans could definitely use some help right now, but they've got a lot of work to get her cleaned all back up. And apparently the long-term plan is to take her in for a dry docking as well. So, but anyway, there you have it, guys. Another really beautiful kit to build a little bit later here. Might be a little while before I get around to another ship build. The Enterprise here is going to take me a long time to get finished up with all the small detail parts and all that, but we'll be back a little later this week with some more on the Enterprise, and then I'm going to be kicking off the big space cruiser kit up here. I've actually done some preliminary work on it, and I'm looking forward to getting started on that build series. We'll see you next time, everybody, and until we do, take care and happy modeling, everyone.